Turning it around with Michelangelo just burning the match. Timothy goes in. Moldy picks up the kill and the first. Moldy gets taken down.
So no flash away into the hole. At wala na si Ase.
A bit too low and kill rate. That would be a curse.
No time to talk. This is the final one, and I'm just saying I'm not playing. Take a walk. No time to talk. You've got a long way ahead. You better hear what I say and take a walk.
Good evening, everyone, and we welcome you back to the Garena LOL Collegiate League Summer 2017. I am Vulcan, and with me is Chisto. We will be your shoutcasters for Game 4 for perhaps could be a very exciting game, TIP versus DLSU.
Yeah, TIP versus DLSU, an important match here. Both teams trying to build momentum as potentially they potentially might qualify for the knockout stage. So both teams want to get the win here and build momentum towards the knockouts.
So looking at the schedule itself, I mean, coming up it would be the Game 4. And right now, let's get straight to the drafting phase of TIP on the blue side versus DLSU on the red side. Interestingly, it would be Janine playing for TIP this time. I've said it before on previous games where when TIP, they don't have their star mid laner Janine, they tend to fumble. They do lack sometimes in terms of more shot calling, more proactiveness, but there was a game where they did still win without Janine.
Yeah, Janine definitely provides a lot for a team. He's definitely one of the best mechanical players out there, very high in the solo queue ladder, and he's a really great buff to TIP whenever he is playing on the roster. And DLSU immediately showing the respect, banning out already two champions that Janine plays in LeBlanc and Vladimir.
Oh wow, that's going to be so much power removed from TIP, and now with two champions banned away for Janine, plus this is Sejuani.
Do note, Lulu is up.
And again,
TIP instantly jumps on Lulu, but I believe DLSU can respond with potentially a Cho'Gath or a Maokai pick here, and an Ardent Sensor user.
so there is this running trend where in Worlds, every time there's actually a game where when any of the casters says Ardent Sensor, you take a shot.
Yeah, we need a nickname for Ardent Sensors. It's just we just say it so much, and I think the viewers will, the audience will just sasawa sila.
So what do we call it?
Fan service.
Fan service? Well, getting on to the first pick, again, another abuser of the Ardent Sensor would obviously be the high priority pick, the Lulu for TIP, whereas the LSU, they will be trying to take away the Janna and at least one of the highest win rate junglers, the Gragas.
Yeah, DLSU picking up the king and queen of disengage in Gragas and Janna. A lot of knockbacks, a lot of CC and utility.
So this is going to be a very powerful drafting so far for TIP. A Kog'Maw and a Jace has been locked in. Jace is one of the most abusive top laners. The fact that he can easily take down and maul down tanks thanks to his passes. But let's see, this could be a mid lane Jace or top lane. It's a very flex pick. Whereas for DLSU, they just showed their jungle and bot lane duo.
Yeah, DLSU not really revealing much as far as what their solo lanes will potentially be. As for TIP, they have that flex pick Jace, which could potentially be put in Janine's hands. I mean, he has a very deep champ pool. I wouldn't be surprised if he does pick up this Jace for this match.
So with that said, the Kled has been removed, and the Orianna will be hovered by the LSU. So let's see though.
Cho'Gath is still up. So yeah, TIP jumping on the Cho'Gath. So it looks like it will be a mid lane Jace for Janine, and TIP needs a good jungler to round us out. And Zach, perfect for this comp.
Wow, such a powerful draft coming from TIP. Zach, Cho'Gath with a Kog'Maw and Lulu. Things are looking pretty dangerous for DLSU.
Garen?
That's going to be obviously not going to be really a thing.
I hope so. I wish they picked Garen though. I haven't seen Garen in a while competitive.
Against the Cho'Gath.
No, against the whole lineup of TIP, just Garen out of the bush flashing. Gnar is a very good counter into Cho'Gath because he'll be able to kite that Cho'Gath in lane, and Cho'Gath really not going to be able to bully the Gnar in the top lane. So, very solid drafts coming from both teams, showing their superior knowledge of this game.
So who would you say has the more powerful draft, TIP or DLSU?
I think DLSU's draft is better in the full-on 5v5, whereas TIP has a split push threat with Janine, because I think Orianna just provides more for a team fight compared to that Jace. So I want to see TIP play around mid lane. I want them to get this Jace snowballed, because once the Jace gets snowballed, he can really just solo carry a team with this immense amounts of damage in the mid game.
I don't think that just despite having an Orianna, they do have a really good engage. None of that means anything if you can't even get close to the enemy, thanks to the Jace and the Cho'Gath. Possibly also the Kog'Maw can be the ones keeping them at bay. So far, things are looking pretty exciting for both teams. Looking at the drafts, very high impact games, very high tense games, damage output wise. So let's see. Will DLSU come back? Oh, sorry. Will DLSU at least fight back against TIP, coming back from their previous defeats in the previous splits?
Yeah, so far both teams looking to play very standard. I mean, tanks in the top and jungle, mages in the mid lane for DLSU, and hyper carries and ardent sensor users in the bot lane.
So this is going to be a very explosive game. I'm pretty much excited to see it right now, but let's get straight towards the Rift without any more delays. TIP GG on the blue side versus DLSU VA on the red side. This is game 4. Let's get straight to it.
Okay, so let's see here. So both AD carries opting to start Relic Shield, trying to accelerate the arms race that is rushing the best item in the game right now, probably the most cost-efficient item. I don't even want to say the name anymore.
I don't even want to think about it anymore, because for me, it's like the Ardent Sensor right now in this patch is like buying a health pot. You just have to buy it. It's normal. If I see it, I won't even mention it, because you will normally you won't say like, hey, you bought a health pot. No, you don't say health pot anymore.
Ardent Sensor over Sightstone. Like, you need to rush that first.
But in a way, doesn't it like makes the supports a bit less tanky?
Yeah, of course, since Sightstone gives bonus health, it does make the supports less tanky, but it does give these hyper carries more damage and really just more utility towards that late game.
And doesn't that actually help TIP even more? Because let's say they are playing the Ardent Sensor Rush. Zach has that incredible range. Gragas is more of a predictable gank, because without his flash, I mean, his body time is pretty short.
What's interesting here is that DLSU has ways to get onto that Kog'Maw. They have ways to dive. Whereas for TIP, their only way of really hard engaging is Zach jumping in, and that really gets shut down easily by Janna and Gragas. So it would be up to Smite to really find these good engages onto the carries of DLSU.
Yeah, the Janna is going to be a very, very hard counter, especially how you can quick cast or snap cast this Howling Gale, instantly denying everything Zach is
Smite has his work cut out for him in this game.
He has to time it properly. So let's see. I would expect that bot lane will be the most apple of the jungler's eyes, whereas top lane is going to be a losing lane because of that Gnar against the Cho'Gath. So things are looking pretty decent for the top lane of DLSU.
Yeah, for Smite, he wants to play around this mid lane. He wants to snowball this Jace and give him a lead. As for Gragas, he wants to further snowball the Gnar in already winning matchup and even bully and abuse the weak early game from the Cho'Gath.
So things so far pretty much slow in. 3 minutes into the game, no much lead has been shown off, but we do see that Smite had shown himself to the mid lane, may go for a catch. He does knock up the Orianna. Looks like Janine will be joining in the dive. Ignite is available. Flash also. Flash and body slam. That's very low on health. Looks like Janine with the shot blast will not secure any kill. And it'll be Spring getting the first blood and possibly the double kill. Oh, Teleport coming in for the save. Great save, but a bit of a waste of a summoner spell.
Yeah, TIP not able to save Smite. They're really well executed counter gank by Sky, just at the right place at the right time.
This is actually very bad news because not only is Smite and Janine behind, this gives Jim a harder time, but in the bot lane, looks like the Kog'Maw and Lulu combo is proving too much for DLSU's bottom lane.
Yeah, well, back to my previous point where I said TIP has to play around this mid lane. Good read by DLSU to predict the first gank coming into the mid lane, being in a position to counter gank and pick up those 2 kills and the teleport burn from Jim. Really good read from DLSU, showing great game sense.
At least that when Jim went back to the top lane, he did not miss too much CS, but it's the fact that he wastes the summoner spell. Looks like it will still be Gulpin having the teleport up for himself.
Even with Jim missing a few CS, he will still lose even more since it's a melee into range matchup. Gnar doesn't lose melee matchups in the top lane. It's very hard for melee champs to actually catch him, and with his passive W and Gnar potentially building into a phase, he'll just give him more and more tools to kite these melee tanks around.
Maybe if it was actually a Jace stop, the Gnar will have a really difficult time.
Yeah, I think Jace into Gnar is it's a more favorable matchup compared to that Cho'Gath, but it looks like TIP opted to give Janine a hard carry champ.
So let's see if Janine will step up. We did see that Spring did get the first blood, immediately getting an upper hand compared to Janine with the Exposed Summoners down for both mid laners. Looks like with this Dragon Strife might go in for the gank. There's a slow and the rocket jump engage, and Zephyr's there with the Howling Gale for the knock. Oh, with Roanna very low. Heal burn. It'll be Gaines taking a kill with. Here comes Smite for the counter gank with Strike. A bit too behind, lagging behind, but he will make it out alive.
Yeah, both teams trading supports there, 1-for-1. Good proactiveness by DLSU, but again, a good response from Smite coming in and just Goomba stomping gains.
With a score of 1-3, things are still looking pretty good for DLSU. Gold lead, not too much because it's just 1,500. But we do see that where it was concentrated on. This Gragas is everywhere with 100% kill participation. He is on a roll, and see the duel in the top lane. Looks like Jim will be losing this matchup. He does get slowed. Jim did make the mistake of dueling Gopi in the top lane.
Yeah, I wonder why Jim opted to take that without the freeze. I mean, it's
oh boy.
Okay.
Looks like this Kog'Maw might die. He did pop his barrier. He will survive. Polymorph in. Looks like Skype is there again in the bottom lane.
There's so much aggression coming out from both teams. But looking back, Jim doesn't have to look for these fights versus this Gnar. He is gonna lose in these early levels without his piece or without support from the rest of TIP. So really bad decision. They're looking to go aggressive versus the Gnar in these early stages.
I mean, despite having the feast, Gnar has this Mega Gnar form where he does get more HP. So in the end, I think that Jim should even remove from his mind that he should duel a Gnar.
Yeah, I think for Jim, what he wants to do now, since he's already in a hole, he wants to farm up and scale, get his feast stacks, feast the minion as soon as it's on cooldown, get those 6 stacks, get more HP, be able to be tanky, and potentially be able to take out Spring or Comte from DLSU in a team fight ensues.
But that's also very tricky because let's say he's stacking up armor, he's stacking up health. By that time, Gnar would have completed the Black Cleaver, which in the end becomes completely useless. So Jim right now is at a difficult spot. I mean, in a way that he has no win condition in the top lane because of his heavy counter.
Yeah, I think TIP opting into Chopar, they got blinded by Cho'Gath being somewhat OP in this patch and didn't respect the counter pick coming from DLSU.
Guess they did not expect the Gnar to make an entrance towards this game 4. against the DLSU. So this will be a penalty, or in a way, something that they have to pay for their. I don't think it's their negligence. It's more of they were really fixated on this really nice pick. It's a good pick, but the fact that they forgot about the Gnar is really proving very difficult.
Yeah, because I think Gnar isn't really that much of a meta pick. I think he's more of a situational pick into these melee tanks such as Cho'Gath, Maokai, for example, in
And
the
it's
top
working.
lane. It is working.
So far, kill score 1-4 is still DLSU looking pretty sharp, whereas TIP looking a bit more defensive. And we do see that for Keanu and Roana, they do have a lot of damage, but they sometimes underestimate the Tristana itself, because early phase Tristana has that steroid for the attack speed. I don't think Keanu respected that, and that's how he was able to burn 2 of his summoners.
Yeah, so let's talk about the current meta and its state in general. I mean, right now there seems to be agreement among all the teams where tanks in the top lane, tanks in the jungle, wave clear in the mid, hyper carries for AD carries, and then ardent sensor users. I mean, almost every competitive game recently has been just that. Has been the blueprint of a comp. So both teams going really standard. It's really up to them to see how well they execute these comps. And so far, DLSU being better in execution in this game, that's why they do have the lead in the early game.
And they also have more, let's say, they did get the upper hand because they were the last ones to pick for the very last moment. So I think that really caught TIP off guard. So let's see what may happen in the top lane. Looks like that'll be Mega Gnar farm. Gopin might try something different, but looks like Jin did spot him in the Tri-Brush, and I think Smite is looking for some ganks into the bot lane. I don't think you should invest too much time because of that Janna. She does have the Monsoon ready.
Yeah, but even though Janna has disengaged doors, I think it's smart for Smite to be looking for a gank in this bot lane because mid lane already died. Cho'Gath is not gonna snowball versus a Gnar, so he wants one of his lanes to get ahead, and the response from DLSU is playing around their winning lane, which is what you should do as a jungler. So Skype naturally playing around this top side and potentially this mid lane.
So I guess how the ganks will happen in the bottom lane will be very interesting. I would say it's more on whoever misses or mistimes their skill shots, uses too much, runs out of mana, but seeing how Smite may opt to just go for Janine instead, because I feel like we should invest more time on Janine because that's a Janna, very predictable ganks and very difficult, but looks like Jim is coming in for some help. He's taking a lot of damage. Here comes some help. Just jumps in, pushes them away. A lot of damage is coming in, and here comes the shockwave going on the Jim. Jim's very low. The Dissonance will be killing off this Cho'Gath.
Great collapse there from Spring, beating Janine to the punch, being the first to help his top lane. And now this Cho'Gath is going to have an extremely hard time in the top lane. Just getting bullied, just getting punished for its weak early game. I mean, already a 40 CS advantage for the Gnar. And this is how Gnar versus Cho'Gath goes. Gnar does naturally win because he is ranged, and Cho'Gath has an extremely weak early game.
And it's the fact that he will be rushing the Righteous Glory. Normally, you would immediately get the Ninja Tabi to at least deny some damage, get some more movement speed in the slow. But looks like Jim got a bit too tunnel vision by the build where, hey, I just get Feast, I can just Righteous Glory in, eat the guy up. I bet that type of mindset is really ruining Jim's itemization.
Yeah, but from a player's perspective, I think why Jim opted for this Righteous Glory.
Oh, that thought looks like Janine is going all in on the Spring, ignited up, but the exhaust is there for the damage reduction. There comes Gulpy from the top lane. Looks like it'll just be a save for Spring.
If that boomerang from Gulpy landed, he would have potentially killed Janine because Janine already burned Flash and Gulpy had his own.
So yeah, what you were saying, Gisto?
Back about Jim's itemization. I mean, he's already behind in lane. I think why he's opting into the Righteous Glory is to provide his team with more engage to counter the disengage from DLSU. He wants to build for a more team-oriented. He wants to build more team-oriented as compared to the selfish build, because building selfish versus this Gnar who's already super ahead will just not isn't gonna help the rest of TIP.
In a way that shouldn't he help himself in a way that he could further at least control this Narc, because in the end, when this Narc is gonna easily abuse this laning phase, get more gold, get more CS, have an easier time. Look how much damage he's taking in, and see how much Gopi doesn't even care.
Yeah, but I think he's just forced into building team already because naturally that's just how the matchup goes. He gets countered very hard by the range of Nar, but hold that, it looked like
Looks like Gopi might just
Sky looked for gank mid, but Janine using his senses, like he sensed something was up, so just backs off.
That's going to be Sky spawning in the mid lane. In the bottom lane, looks like we're going to be seeing a gank in. Smite in. Oh, the Howling Gale missed. So did Smite engage. Now it's a bit awkward for Smite. He cannot survive this counter gank coming from Sky directly for the mid lane. Nice combo with a cast, but the Monsoon is there for the reset. Piano will be there, but the last bounce will be capturing 2 members. Teleport from the top lane. Jim gets the kill onto Gaze. Now 4 members tailgating DLSU, and that will be the disengage.
Yeah, good job by TIP. They're using their teleport advantage.
Ooh, here comes Janine from the mid lane. Shock blast going into the skies. And engage their shockwave distance combo. That's going to be a lot of damage, but looks like he does have his passive. But Keanu with that Cogmouth still having a lot of damage, tons of damage. But Spring at the last moment just instantly bursted down those droplets.
Yeah, both teams kind of overextending. Both teams, yeah, kind of overextending there and picking up trade kills at the end. But Gulpy picking up the first turret of the game, gonna put the start even further ahead of the Shogas.
Oh, hold your horses there, Spring. He's getting a bit too angsty. He sees a low target. You get a bit itchy. You do want to finish it off, but he has to show some restraint. But as you said, the first turret did go to DLSU, and most probably, the Mountain Drake.
Yeah, this Mountain Drake, if DLSU is able to pick it up, and it looks like there's no contestant TIP, this is going to help the split push from the Gnar, and it's going to help Justana siege towers even faster. Of course, with the attack speed steering and the Ardent Sensor going to come in soon. They're going to shred towers and objectives really, really fast.
And this is a Tristana we are talking about. Tristana with the Mountain Drake buff, and the next Drake again will be the Mountain Drake.
RNGs, man. I mean, Tristana is nearly synonymous with towers just destroyed.
So looks like the RNG will be in favor for DLSU. Another Mountain Drake will be live. In my opinion, at least getting 2 Mountain Drakes will be more than enough for Tristana, because Tristana has some explosive mine, so that's going to be a bit of an overkill if you get 3 Mountain Drakes. It's like that turret is nothing.
Yeah, but of course, Mountains are going to help you when taking down objectives, but they don't really give you stats for team fights. And as of now, TIP can still look to win team fights with their Cogmouth, which begins with Rage Blade completed and Janine, but
oh boy,
Keanu getting jumped on, a bit of poke, just going to back off.
Protecting the control ward right there. Great job by DLSU. They still want to control the bottom lane since the next Drake will be Mountain. They can't afford to lose this lane because it's very high priority right now. And seeing how Gulpy is free to teleport anywhere he pleases, seeing how the map is very open for him, especially his lane.
Yeah, interesting here for DLSU. Look at their control ward line around the mid lane. There are 2 control wards by the mid lane, protecting Spring from ganks from that side. And as for TIP, they need to play around this Cogmouth, which is ahead. They're going to have to rely on Keanu to step up and carry this game, as it looks like Ginny not really getting rolling here on the Jace.
It could be the time for TIP to fight back. Looks like Keanu does have to use his Rage Blade, but in the mid lane, however, Janine gets the upper hand, but the turret will assist Sky in taking down Janine.
Yeah, both teams trade 1-for-1 in the 2v2, and both mid laners go down, and I think the lane is just going to reset. And of course, Janine, having completed that maul, will have more survivability versus the magic damage coming out of Spring and Sky.
I gotta say, despite the rough start for Janine, he is still fearless, matching the CS of this Orianna, who actually got the first blood, and seeing how Spring is really scared, picked up the defensive boots, Ninja Tabby, and next will be the Zonia's Hourglass. interesting for Spring, he is prioritizing for more team-oriented fights.
Yeah, I think that just goes to show you how well respected Janine is as a player, and people respect his skill and his ability, and it does show he is really good at playing League of Legends. So it's just a smart choice from Spring.
So far, as for Janine's itemization-wise, he did complete the Mom. Perhaps next will be the Yomus
Or the
Ghostblade. It could be, depending, seeing how Janine actually plays. He likes to get close and personal, so the Duskblade will really favor his playstyle even more. But looks like Sky can't jump away, and looks like the jump, the slingshot of Smite was a bit too short.
Yeah, kind of over-eager from Rowana, flashing into Whimsy on the Gragas, who still has Body Slam up, so interesting burn there.
Well, he did want to get a kill because if this Gragas dies, that's actually more pressure for TIP because, more pressure for DLSU since they do not have their junglers.
Okay, so 19 minutes into this game, 47 kills, around 4k gold lead for DLSU. What I want to see them do here is help Tristana take down the bot lane outer from TIP, because once that happens, it enables...
Oh, hold on, Janine though, it's in big trouble. He does make it away with his flash. He might go for a dive, but that was a really, really close call for Janine. He's not just backing out just yet. Well, the mid lane did suffer some loss for the turret, but in the bot lane, things are heating up as we do see Comte ignoring the two laners, just going straight for the turret.
Okay, so even though Janine survived, it does mean DLSU gets another tower.
Oh, but what's this? Gulpy makes an entrance towards top lane, and the last boomerang hit pops the third stack and secures the kill.
And DLSU turning up the pace here, and TIP not really keeping up with the pace, just tower after tower falling for TIP. DLSU playing this early game, using their early game lead really well.
And I think when it comes to early game, Jin really did have a hard time. But I think as of now, Ninja Tabi, Righteous Glory, I think he's looking pretty solid. He is stacking up his feast. Maybe this could be a time for Jim to bounce back.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh boy, Shockwave. Janine just eats everything up for breakfast, and now
what a nice cast.
Comte gets taking down the kill with a very nice cast.
Yeah, Sky with a nice guy picks up the kill on Janine, and this Jace pick looks like it isn't working out for him. I wonder if he practiced it enough.
Here comes Jim. It could be the rupture. No knockup yet. Oh, Smite again with a very awkward entrance. Will force the cell division passive on Jim though. Will make it a lot. There is the Monsoon for the heal. Looks like members of DLSU, rather healthy, will still push on to the bot lane. Whereas in the top lane, Goopy does not care. Just headbutting the turret like there's no threat. Looks like Janine is back from the dead. He is going to be coming back from the fountain. The turret's very low. Smite should back off, but he does not falter. However, the bot lane did fall down. And also the top lane.
Yeah, already 5-0 in turrets, only at 21 minutes into the game. TIP losing in the global goal, losing map. Yeah, 5 turrets, really fast. I mean, this is the power of Tristana, Ardent Sensor, and Mountain Drake combined.
Yeah, that's right. Ardent Sensor and Mountain Drake go well together, and this is going to be the second Drake. This is by far, this is going to be the Tristana's wet dream, because this is going to be 2 Mountain Drakes, Ardent Sensor, my robust steroid as an attack speed, and the explosive mine. Ooh, just sign me up. This is going to be the game for Tristana to really show himself well. And wait, the next Drake is another Mountain Drake.
RNG, man. They're just on the side of DLSU for this game. I mean, now what DLSU wants to do with this double Mountain Drake is they want to go for that Baron. I mean, they can rush it down with the bonus 2 damage onto objective.
Yeah, the Baron and the Drakes will not last long. It looks like the chase is on. Looks like, however, a skirmish did happen in the riverside. We are seeing a Shockwave, did connect, but he cannot be displaced. The cast is there for the disengage. So far, 2 ultimates burnt by DLSU, whereas we're seeing TIP, they have no ultimates ready just yet, especially the less bounce. However, the feast is available, but it's not really a considerable game-changing ultimate compared to the Shockwave or the Mega Gnar.
Yeah, even if a TIP has that feast in order to contest the potential Baron, they actually have no ways to get Jim inside that Baron pit with the amount of disengage from DLSU.
Oh, looks like Sky invading the personal space of TIP. Looks like disengaged. Two members gets kissed together. Oh, Shock Blast barely misses. And this would be DLSU standing up, whereas we see Gulpy in the red side of TIP.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it's really hard to engage versus the comp of DLSU having Janna, having Gragas. DLSU just playing their comp strengths really, really well here.
And I think by far the supports, I don't think they're really behind in terms of gold. I think they're pretty much even, seeing how their itemization is like...
Janna is up on redemption though.
Sorry, I did not see the redemption. That's going to be a lot of gold then. So when it comes to more powerful heals, that's going to be overkill. I mean, redemption and the monsoon. Might as well throw away the fountain. You don't need a fountain anymore. Oh boy, Smite though. Looks like they're losing all the controls of their own jungle. This is very difficult.
Yeah,
And
very
this could-
difficult
This
indeed.
could give the third trick to DLSU. Nightmare for TIP.
Yeah, I mean, DLSU, they want to be setting up vision around this Baron area now. And
Oh
right
boy.
now, grouping us to Skyfen gains, safety in numbers, they're clearing vision, they're clearing TIP vision around the Baron and setting up their own. And what this does is just apply more pressure for TIP, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to face check us? You face check us, you die. And then if they don't, you lose Baron and you lose the game. So really, really well orchestrated macro play coming out from DLSU in this game.
I'm pretty much scared for TIP because they seem to be losing all sorts of control in terms of vision, but at least they do have some guts to make it to the Baron pit. But looks like this could be Jim's last breath. Who knows? He does have the feast.
Gnar has BF sword.
Oh my god. He does not care. And I don't think you can eat your way out of this, Jim. He does flash away, but he does have the red buff. Goes in, just pummels him like a bubblegum. Like no mercy being shown by Gulpy.
Like Gnar showing he's a superior top laner. Just
Talk about hard counters.
yeah, just bopping Cho'Gath. Like I don't care how big you are, I'm gonna like jump on top of you and just destroy you in the 1v1.
Bopper right there. I mean, in a way that it's weird how great, how it works so well for the Gnar, but looks like a contest is gonna happen. Smite
Ooh, too early.
a bit too early. Teleport is coming in. Looks like Gulpy will be 1v1 Janine, but the fight is in the Baron pit. Shockwave only on the Smite. That is gonna be still okay. Kiana though, however, does get taken out. He does trade off for a Janna, but looks like Rona is like, just take me. Take me, DLSU!
Yeah, and this will a good or a vision control or giving DLSU the Baron here. I mean, TIP forced to face check there and they get punished for it. DLSU peels off the Baron, focuses down the Zac. The only threat is actually steal it. Now they get Baron and they could potentially end the game with this Baron. I mean, TIP, they just can't do anything with their comp at this stage. With the lead DLSU has already 10k gold and Mountain Drake in 1 minute.
If Tristana gets the third Mountain Drake, I wonder what's gonna be TIP's plan, because it's all on Kiani right now. I mean, Janine has lost his opportunity to Snowball. Stroll, he did pick up the Duskblade, possibly gonna go for the Ghostblade next. But when you pick up a Duskblade, you need to get into the fight. How can you get into the fight when there's a Janna right there, right in your face? There's a Gragas, there's a Gnar. So I think this is very difficult. This is a very difficult game to be a Jace for Janine.
Yeah, and I think TIP is a bit flustered. I mean, you're used to seeing Janine carry these games for TIP, but in this game, he's 1-4-1 on the Jace.
Looks like DLSU really played around this Jace.
Yeah, Janine really got shut down this game, and I wonder, will TIP be able to... I don't want to count them out yet, as they have a good late game with the Kog'Maw, but right now, DLSU is in the driver's seat, looking to siege down with this Baron buff.
Yes, with the Baron buff in the hands of DLSU with 2 Mountain Drakes. Looks like that turret will not last at all. With DLSU taking away the 6th turret of the game, TIP, will they be able to defend this incoming wave? They do have the Gnar to be worried about, and I don't think Jin can do anything, can do much, because he's level 14, this Gnar is level 16. And Smith is 1 level behind this Gragas. Janine is behind level 2 levels by this Oriana. And there's the Shockwave entering the game. Janine gets easily bursted by Spring. Keanu again with a double kill for Spring. Teleport is coming in. Jim is going for the flank, but it's a bit awkward entrance there. Smite survives with Jim wasting a teleport. I did not know why he teleported in the sidebar.
Yeah, perfectly executed engager from DLSU will potentially win them the game. Of course, Tristano will shred these Nexus towers, and it looks like at 28 minutes, game will end in favor of DLSU. They're just batting their KDAs here.
Look at what Gulpy did, just throwing away the last minute save salvation for Jim. The fountain is out of his reach. With that said, this will be an ace, and the game for DLSU against TIP GG.
Yeah, dominating win for DLSU, just in the lead from the start of the game till the end. Really dominating TIP and Janine throughout the entirety of that game. Really shutting down TIP's star player.
I think in a way that TIP, they fell for the bait that DLSU brought out. The Cho'Gath is available, they locked it in, and we all know that DLSU had the last pick. Then they bring out this Gnar, caught TIP surprise, and I think this totally shut down the top lane. And Janine got focused because they knew the top lane was not a threat.
Yeah, DLSU really playing pick and bans well, and I'm a firm believer in that the game can be won during pick and ban itself. But I think as for the game plans, TIP just weren't able to execute theirs, which was get Janine ahead and get him snowball, whereas DLSU was able to get what leads they needed in order to snowball and win the game in such a dominant fashion. So really well played by DLSU.
So guys, there you have it. That has been the result of DLSU versus the TIP. Let's get into the end game stats to see how this teams actually did, because seeing how things went out to the game, how the flow was, got a hands down to Strife, rather, because look at that KPA.
Yeah, Skype was definitely a factor in securing the early game lead for DLSU, being proactive during those early ganks, beating Smite to those to the lanes, being the first guy to throw a punch, and TIP just looked out of sorts once DLSU picked up the tempo, picked up the pace of the game. They just couldn't keep up.
And thanks to Sky, this enabled Spring to snowball, to carry the game, to really decisive shockwaves that would change the whole outcome of the fight. But great job for the Gulpit for really abusing his power in the top lane. But let us see. Ooh, he's just gonna love that damage output from Gnar, seeing how he was able to abuse that Cho'Gath to an extent that made him cry.
Yeah, definitely great counter pick. Nice pick and ban.
Nice drafting for DLSU. Something to learn from here. But I think that has been our game for today, and we have been your Shoutcasters. I'm Vulcan, with me is Chisto. We'll be back for Game 5 after the short break. Survive this counter gag coming from Sky directly for the mid lane. Nice combo with a cast, but the Monsoon is there for the reset. Keanu will be there, but the less balance will be capturing 2 members. Teleport from the top lane. Jim gets the kill on 2 games. Now 4 members tail kicking DLSU, and that will be the disengage.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, definitely.
Oh boy, Shockwave. Janine just eats everything up for breakfast, and now
what a nice
will be Comtech. But looks like contest is gonna happen. Smite
too early.
A bit too early. Teleport is coming in. Looks like Gulpy will be 1v1 Janine, but the fight is in the Baron pit. Shockwave only on the Smite. That is gonna be still okay. Keanu, though, however, does get taken out. He does trade off for Achana, but looks like Rona is like, just take me. Take me, DLSU!
Yeah, and this will
Oriana.
good.
And there's a shotgun entering the game. Janine is easily bursted by Spring. Keanu again with a double kill for Spring. Teleport is coming in. Jim is going for the flank, but it's a bit awkward entrance there. Smite survives with Jim wasting a teleport. I did not know why he teleported in the sidebar.
Yeah, perfectly executed engager from DLSU. The game will end in favor of DLSU. They're just batting their KDAs here.
Look at what Gulpy did, just throwing away the last minute save salvation for Jim. The fountain is out of his reach. With that said, this will be an ace, and the game for DLSU against TIP GG.
Yeah, dominating win for DLSU, just in the lead from the start of the game till the end. Really
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.